Building the pillar. Beloved Holy Presence of God, Holy Mother, Holy Father, Holy Christ Sophia, we command this space as dedicated and consecrated to cosmic sovereign law. We ask to open all channels of light. Our vertical channel fully connected, amplified with the eternal living light code. We dedicate and open our session in service to cosmic sovereign law, to GSF timelines of the Aurora timeline continuum. We call upon all of our beloved guardian teams, advisory teams and our highest God self, all those aligned to support the law of one. Please join and amplify with us now. May we exchange together in the highest capacity of God's eternal and infinite light, love and power in divine right order, timing and harmony. We ask you from across the omniverses to join with us now through our unification principle. Again, feeling deeply into our heart note, into our group note, into the individual note that we are, sounding our group heart note to you now. We dedicate our container, that which is shifting into many changes at this particular time through shifting timelines, through as well what seems to be particularly related to upcoming magnetic peak cycle and changes that solidify the upcoming alignment into the new timelines, which are pushing us forward into a new type of momentum of our purpose, of our spiritual mission, of course our attunements to that which is starting to reveal itself to us now with the changes, alignments. And as well I think the new levels of embodiment of attunement to higher consciousness access the level of protection and support that this extends to us at this particular timeline. Again in dedicating our container, holding first the anchor within S community. It feels as well for a moment to strengthen focus upon a crystal star architecture pillar that has been slowly building in the earth body through us. Understanding that many of us act as a bridge between micro-macro and as well the embodiment of celestial structures, what we call geometric structures, holographic geography by merging and uniting these levels of architecture between celestial star bodies that have long been disconnected from the Earth body due to problematic issues involving negative alien manipulation and invasion of this particular planet for their own agendas and purposes. As we know, this has over this period of time, for hundreds of thousands of years actually, has disconnected those attunements and alignments from running into the planetary body, rendering many portals and levels of consciousness access, non-existent to the people. When we think of ray spectrum qualities of energy that have been rendered dormant, inactive, even non-existent in being able to pick up that coding, to not be able to run that coding within our physical embodiment, during the timelines shifting as we prepare for the movement of bifurcation that is shifting in between the densities, bridging into the next harmonic universe, we've become more aware that locational moves, directive moves, things that we've been working on are changing also. This may be changing our orientation in the world ever so slightly, or maybe even quite radically, as we have to be aligned and in purpose to support this shift. I can really see the necessity of being 100% in your heart, your mind, your spirit, your higher self-alignment and how that full alignment to the higher spiritual directive of our soul to have governance over our mind, our body, and our direction. We must follow our spirit without hesitation in everything that we are in terms of our core essence while we're on the earth. I can see the challenge and difficulty for some of the people in the spiritual community. Again, many of those that maybe have need to exit the group consciousness layers of a community field, because we're reaching a level where our personal spiritual house must be focused upon, and in most cases we do this spiritual work in isolation. That which we have built as a part of the construct of our aura, our divine source field, that which is working towards the building, strengthening, amplification of our divine source body, this is manifested through our direct focus, alignment, attunement, the acknowledgement and the emphasis of placing our attention upon our spiritual source, on our spiritual path, on making this a priority, and as we know, that is made very difficult on the earth. It's much easier said than done, especially when we are born into this world, into becoming led into material constructs that are designed as consciousness traps to prevent us from actually achieving these spiritual goals. It can be nearly excruciating and very painful when we are called upon to be fully dismantled away from 3D thinking in this way, and yet as we know the choice is always left with us. Can we trust in the process of dismantle? Can we truly allow when we're in the process of being dismantled and it looks extremely grim and isolating, maybe even lonely to be on this path, and to still put our faith, our trust, our love and our heart on the altar to serve God? This is definitely something that requires an extreme strength of character, an extreme strength of purpose, an extreme strength within the spirit of our being, that directs us to focus on this priority above all. And certainly having larger awareness of what's happening to the earth, this is very difficult, it's very challenging. There are many people in the world that are suffering, in pain, and are confused. They feel isolated, and may not understand what is being asked of them to shift the way they perceive and think. We cannot think our way through this spiritual transformation process, it has to be felt and experienced directly by the heart through gnosis. As we have said many times, in order to receive all you have to give all. There can be no fence sitting now, there can be no 1 foot here, 1 foot there, straddling the worlds. We do the straddle of worlds for a very long time in terms of our exchange and interface that forces us to interact with 3D world, but for most of us here now, no matter what the outer demands in terms of our showing up for that outer emanation of what we need to learn or experience in our case study and mastery of the world of forces, that we understand everything we are involved with in the material world is about self-mastery for our highest spiritual development. The fulfillment of our highest expression, whatever that may be for us in its unique emanation. In the past 9 months, I have seen or observed people's spiritual houses being collapsed, because they were not built properly. They were not built with the correct alignment and attunement for that person. We cannot build our spiritual body on a house of cards, on deceptions and delusions. It will be weak, infiltrated and collapse. Again, recognizing with the utmost compassion how easy it is to be confused in this world, and of course the setup for that in this world is to be confused, to misinterpret the clues of information that we receive and to not understand what's actually truthfully being asked from us on the ascending path. With all my heart, with all of my passion to serve God, I dearly hope our community does its very best, given the limitations of written language, to help people find this inner truth and knowing that no matter what the outer world looks like, no matter what we are involved with and whatever construct, whatever profession, whatever we are involved in the material world, the material skeleton structure does not matter, it is always the content of our heart, what is being directed from your heart. To see the truth of the many forces operating here that are hidden within the structure, to study them, to understand them, to observe them, to witness them, that it is truly what our consciousness role is on this planet, to be in this world, but not of this world, and this is extremely hard. The material world is very convincing that it's real, it's filled with deceptions. We think that it really matters in everything that we do, and yet there is a relative understanding to that we need to be grounded in practical habits. But when we become over-identified with the material world, we can easily build a distorted, defunct spiritual house because we're still not clear in being able to separate the processes of ego, to identify the processes of what we have been brainwashed to believe on this planet through many deceptions and lies, and to extract ourselves from that mind control and belief system. All of what we share here about ascension is the goal, the spiritual purpose. It is extracting ourselves from the convincing mind control that is used in the material world to distort our spiritual house, which is our light body, which is the ability to embody the eternal and divine source light, to build the inner energetic structure that is the dwelling place for our inner spirit, our inner Christ. This is built through the enmeshment, the stacking and the clearing of the soul as the female principle, the monad as the masculine principle, bringing those male-female principles of consciousness energy into unification and wholeness so that the liquid plasma Christ inner spirit can embody within our spiritual house. We must create the dwelling for our inner spirit. Our community is designed to help as a spiritual tool, to help people individually to build their spiritual house correctly in strength and with proper calibration. To understand the importance of clearing that alien mind control, of extracting the artificial and extracting the falsity, the great deception of which we all have been subjected to on this planet. And knowing that right now, we're in a very challenging time because within our own community field, we are being upgraded to another frequency structure. It is requiring as well, that there are people that come touch into the community field with different genetic alignments or social memory complexes or memories from different star systems that are appropriate to commingle. Even if they're not aware that's why they're here. And as well I notice those that have been with the community or have been an adjunct to the community, whether it's arm's length in the periphery, or whether it's being exposed to a loved one that is building a strong spiritual house, that this building of spiritual structure is starting to impact and ripple to people in our near environment. This was the update last week on the destruction of dualistic geometries that exist in the timelines of people around us, and seeing as those dualistic structures which attract the artificial intelligence software, this mind control that I'm attempting to bring a voice of expression to help understand how this works in all of the mechanisms used on the earth, the material reality, and to know what has really happened here. The biggest issue we all have on this planet, and no matter what level, as a 3D, or multidimensional person, a spiritually developing person, a person on the awakening path, every one of us on this earth has the common thread of extracting ourselves from becoming enmeshed with the false identity that we have been told, the false identity that we have been brainwashed to believe is us. Every part of us must recognize what that false ego is and to do what we can in our neutral observer point to not allow those false identities to become identified with who we truly think we are at a heart level, a feeling level, a sensory level. This is a part of the, I wish I had a better word than battle, but that is what it is. It is a spiritual battle. It's a battle to clear what we have been indoctrinated into since birth to think is who we are as an identity, and to wake up and recognize that we have been deceived, we've been lied to. This reality is based on the imposter spirit architecture, and we are coming into awakening to build the spiritual house for our inner spirit, to be a hosting structure in the avatar of ascension in the collective Christos Sophia consciousness, to hold this template as a host for planet Earth, for the inhabitants of Earth. And to recognize that this indeed is what is happening in the shift of our community field right now. The structure, the architecture that is building in what we are now hosting, is a pillar, is a transit station, is a consciousness corridor, and it is a space that has been built on the heart frequency, the personal will, the desire to serve God from those in our community, from those here in our group. With every drop of our heart and our spirit that you give to God, you are helping to contribute to the avatar of ascension, which is building a crystal architecture as a hosting shield from the earth up to the stars, which can be partnered and collaborated with by multiple guardian forces that are serving the same mission and collaboration that we are. Defending the truth and spiritual freedom. We're starting to view, observe and see this platform which is extending extremely high above the earth, in terms of the earth's aura. When we think of the Earth's Merkaba field, just outside the rim of the Earth's Merkaba field, holding from the surface atmosphere, meaning from where we are in this physical being right now, the ability to connect into this pillar as a transit station, as a place nourishment and support for each one of us, but as well to help for transiting, whether it's loved ones, whether it's family members, whether it's our session work, no matter what it is, this platform is there for group, for our service, and is a testament to our service to this earth and to God, again not in recognition of any kind of ego, but it is a moment of celebration to understand that we have achieved something that is really beautiful in our service, which is allowing many more beings that are both human and not human, from this planet but serving our same mission of spiritual freedom, to be able to access this platform for our collaboration with our family members that are again on and off planet. So this is a part of an understanding of the change of hosting or a level of hosting, which gives us a lot of privileges. At the same time, there are responsibilities in being aware that this is there and recognizing that this structure creates more foundation, more strength in our purpose moving forward, and that purpose may be slightly changing in terms of how we organize and arrange our core work with or whatever adjunct work we may be involved with as facilitators or as a part of that outreach and extension of that information to whatever way we may deliver and support that offering to the world at large. This again seems to be getting reorganized right now so that it can be in alignment to be supported with this pillar platform that is strengthened and is connected in the Earth body and extends all the way out of the Earth body into space, connecting to multiple star geometries in the ecliptic, like understanding through geometries in the ecliptic, through the magnum opus. Each of those constellations has an influence. Many of these constellations, as we know, had specific purposes of transmitting law and ray structure and energetic current and certain qualities of frequency to planet. A lot of that frequency field had been dormant, interrupted, and distorted from coming into the Earth grids. That level of connection in terms of holographic geography with these celestial management star systems within this local universe, that relate to our entire solar system, is connected to this hosting shield that is what allows how the energies from the stars and sun come into the planetary grid, and that force field is made available to the people of the Earth. It's very complex to try to explain in words the change in the planetary architecture, as it's a big energetic shift that is happening in the gridwork. But from the point of the position of where it's located, the pillar platform that is a part of this structure of transmitting cosmic plasma ray energy into the planet, it feels just outside of where, well, it's like looking at the Earth from where about the moon is. The Earth is about that size when you're standing on this pillar platform. It looks about 183,000 miles from Earth approximately, I think, about in that location. The Earth looks about that size, and that is the general location of where that pillar platform is that is hosted by our guardian families. So this is incredibly optimistic for transmissions of much more energy to become available to the Earth, but it's also noting its location feels very important to me in understanding the problems with the lunar matrix and moon chain lineages, what's been happening in the satellite of the moon. This also feels relative to breaking through those patterns of distortions in the ensnarement used in the astral, of understanding the moon was in its lunar force, kind of like a soul-catching device, in the manipulation of lunar field and black substance fields, to create black holes or consciousness traps in the astral. And so the lunar matrix was contributing to the magnetic distortion in our planetary field. This platform also feels, because it is a safe platform that is completely hosted by crystal star that connects into the aurora platforms, it feels as well as a safety mechanism to protect human beings from being sucked into that lunar matrix. Because as we know, these entities don't seem to give up in their levels of manipulation of Earthlings, and when you see obviously that they are kind of successful, when you look at a lot of people's dark and distorted behavior on Earth, and then understand that there's still so many people on the surface feeding these false god alien structures, that they're not going to walk away from that belief system easily. People on this planet will kill for their belief systems. But understanding that construct is there, is very supportive and very optimistic. So in connecting into this new hosting structure, this new pillar, platform, the new hosting shield in the consciousness corridors, in bringing this into our clarity or inner vision and our connection to feel the support of God forces, to feel the support of the crystal star family with us, in all of our interactions now. We are enduring a shift that is changing all of the constructs we have been connecting to, and that may feel odd or disorienting. But be aware that interaction is becoming more amplified and able to be accessed more easily through the hosting platform that we are being given that is designed to direct more plasma energy to the Earth. Also, when the structure stabilizes, through this hosting platform we get a direct connection to an array of our guardian family members that will be meeting us on that pillar platform, potentially giving us downloads or support or different understanding, or help with different projects. So in deep love and gratitude, sending that to our cosmic family of light, cosmic family of crystal star and guardian host beings that support cosmic sovereign law of one. In deep love and gratitude we send our heart of appreciation, gratitude and unconditional love to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for the support, acknowledgement, recognition in helping us to collaborate in the building of this hosting shield and pillar platform. May we each be guided appropriately with the direct information, intelligence and consciousness that is required for us to individually and collectively meet our highest expression of our divinity of our higher spirit in service to God and to all of our spiritual families and guardian host. Decree, I connect with the new pillar platform of the Golden Age, now.